Yo, people in recovery, people in the healing process, on in the healing process, on the healing process, doing the healing, the process and the things. I just came across this group called Adult Children of Alcoholics. I've heard of it before. I don't know anything about it except I'm like looking into it right now. I'm passingly familiar with like Al-Anon, CODA, like Codependence Anonymous, OA, and some of the other ones. You know, they're all pretty much based on 12-step programs, but something really interesting in ACA, and again, I'm like barely looking at it right now, so forgive me if I get it a little bit wrong. Dude, it's roasty out here today, so I'm a little out of breath. It feels good, but getting a little birds getting a little wind off the ocean every so often, but it's pretty still right now. ACA, Adult Children of Alcoholics, dude. From what I'm seeing so far in a couple talks I've listened to and a little tiny bit of literature, it doesn't focus so much on what we did wrong and making amends and stuff like in traditional 12-step recovery does, all of which is very important. But this other thing, which is aligning with, you know, the work that I'm developing, the book and the program and the books, that's going to be much more trauma focused, trauma centered, trauma first, because that's how these disorders and most mental health and a lot of physical health problems originate, is through childhood loss, trauma, grief, unprocessed emotions of many different kinds. And it doesn't have to be something that's like, it's not always catastrophic looking on the outside. You know, it can be a series of events, especially for complex trauma, complex PTSD often is. It's, you know, the death by 1,000 cuts, dude, and a little child whose spirit, whose light is being extinguished, tends to happen slowly over time. You know, if the parents are dysfunctional, unhealthy, active addicts, alcoholics, and things of that nature, it kind of happens slowly over time, and then, you know, a lot of times for so many of us, it's blamed on the child in the end. It's blamed on the child, the effects of the abuse and neglect piling up for years and years and decades. It's blamed on the child at the end. It's just crazy time. It's crazy. Anyhow,